No, the saying that what you say will be used against you, and you have the right to remain silent. I guess were never more true, according to what you're telling me.
Well, it is untrue. In a DUI investigation, you don't have a right to an attorney, and they're not going to tell you that you have a right to remain silent. And they'll many times tell you that you have an absolute right, you have an absolute duty to keep talking, answer the questions. In most DUI cases, they need the person to talk. And a person who thinks that they can talk their way out of it will invariably say things which will be used against them later. It doesn't matter how clever you are. Most people don't understand the details and the technicalities of a DUI. And they will say things that they think is helping on one end, which is just killing them on the back end. So, bottom line is, if you think you're being investigated for a criminal charge, you should remain silent and wait till you can speak to an attorney. If the police officer says that you don't have a right to speak to an attorney, tell them that you're prepared to wait until you can. And by the way, that conversation is going to result probably in a real bad night for you, because in most cases you'll be arrested right on the spot.
Well, it sounds like you'll be arrested anyway, so that seems the best of the worst of things to do.
The thing is, you won't know that. You're going to be hoping and praying that there's some way to get out of this. That the officer's going to see the light, is going to realize that you could be sent on your way. You'll be safely at home in a short period of time. They're hoping that they can say things and do things to make that happen. And the more you struggle in quicksand, the further you sink. So you don't know in advance that you're going to be arrested, and there are officers who say, I frequently do investigations, find people not impaired, and send them on their way. I find that extremely rare. I saw one last week in a trial we had. Police officer, a DUI officer, actually did an investigation, did some field sobriety exercises, and then let the person drive away. I haven't seen one of those in a really long time.
Okay.
And of course, he was arrested 3 blocks later and went to jail. And went to jail supposedly because he refused to do field sobriety exercises.
Right. Okay. Do you feel the current DUI punishments are too harsh or too lax? And I don't even know if this is a fair question for you, but
I don't know. I mean, get back to me after someone's driven over one of my children or driven over one of my friends on their 3rd time DUI. All right. I drive on the roads every day, and I'm depending on other people to drive in a predictable manner and not kill me. The reason why the DUI punishments are so stiff is because for a long time you could kill people with cars and DUIs, get away with it, do a minor punishment, and be out drinking and driving in a short period of time later. Alcohol is a dangerous drug, and when people drive on it, the consequences are brutal. So on one hand, I see people who are never going to make this mistake again. They come into my office and they are mortified beyond reason. And even when they're innocent, they're going to say, he smelled alcohol in my breath. I put myself in a situation where the officer could at least think I was DUI, even when I'm not. All right. And when they hear about the attorney's fees and what the punishments are and what the administrative consequences are, they look you right in the eye and say, this ain't never going to be a problem again, because they're smart people and they don't want to go through this again. There are completely other ways of looking at it. You got some people who don't get it, okay? And they're driving on the roads with us, and they're driving big, heavy trucks, and when they make a mistake, they're going to take your whole family out. So, you tell me about the punishments and penalties.
Okay.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous. There are, America is where the roadways and the highways in America are extensive. It's you can't live in Florida without being able to drive. And losing your driver's license is the same thing as economic castration around here. On the other hand, if you can't be trusted on the road, then I go both ways on it. I don't want to see my clients hurt. I want to see them get back in their lives as fast as possible. But on the other hand, you have to be there when your client's trying to explain why he drove his car in the back end of a tractor trailer, crushed his girlfriend in the front seat, and hear what their explanation for why that's okay when their alcohol level was 0.3. I've had this conversation on one occasion recently, and
Okay.
It's the end of his life. It's the end of his life. Not to mention his girlfriend, thought she was going to get home that night.
Okay. Well, my last question is
very serious stuff, is what I'm saying.
okay. Well, my last question is, what makes your firm unique in providing DUI defense, and what statement do you want to make to all potential clients that are watching this video of you?
Well, I'm not sure that my office is unique. All right. I mean, on one hand, I'm located next to a liquor store, so there's probably some serious irony there. On the other hand, I've been doing this more than 25 years. I've been defending people on DUIs for about 23 of them. I take this seriously. My job is to protect my client the best way I know how, and to make sure they understand what it is that I'm going to try and accomplish for them, and to tell them to their face in no uncertain terms and in a manner in which they're not going to get confused later on where I think they stand. Now, another lawyer may very well look at the same facts and say, "Well, I can do something with this," and they may be right. My job is to protect these people the best way I know how, and that's what I do. I mean, frankly, we take cases to trial around here. We win trials, we lose trials, but we don't drop them. Okay, my client's not always happy with the way things work out, but I believe that my clients are happy with the way I handled it and are not disappointed in their choice of attorney. And that's the best I can do. I mean, you asked me earlier about what the percentages were in my win-loss ratios. It doesn't make any difference. I could win 100% of them. That doesn't mean the next one's going to be a winner. And the next one would be making a mistake if they think that their case is going to work out the way the ones came before.
It's true.
In the criminal justice system, it's the state of Florida and all the resources they can bring to bear against you when they pull you over on the side of the road at nighttime. And our job is to make sure that the client's position is fully and fairly represented. And a person who comes in here and says he's not guilty and he wants a defense, there are things that can be done. And in Osceola County, in Orange County, we have good judges. I'm very happy with the vast majority of my police officers, and the judges in this area have a history of not imposing a stiffer punishment for people merely because they went to trial and lost. And that is
that's important.
But that is hugely important.
Yeah.
There are jurisdictions where they tell you straight up, if you lose a trial, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you such and such a penalty. And you turn to the judge and you say, "Judge, listen, you would have given them no jail time beforehand, and there's nothing about this DUI that's different than any other DUI. There's nobody been hurt. There's no kids in the car. There's not driving on the sidewalk, etc." And the judge will look you in the eye and say, "There's got to be a penalty for losing," which is illegal. But it's happened in my career many times. In Orange and Osceola County, the judges have a strong policy. If you want to exercise your constitutional right to a trial, you don't get punished for that. And that's that's the closest you're going to get to having a fair fight. And so you get to put on your case. If you get charged with DUI, you have witnesses. You need to know you need to be able to locate the people who were with you immediately before you started driving. You need to know the names and addresses of the people in the car with you. All right, your lawyer is going to need this information. If you keep the receipts of your restaurant receipts, your credit card transactions. Do not text while you drive. However, you may discover that your handheld cell phone has got important information about your case that you had no idea was out there.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, I'll give you an example. There's a navigating device made by a company called Garmin. Have you ever heard of it?
Yes.
It's a very handy little thing. You plug it into your a cigarette lighter, and it will tell you how to get places.
Right, the GPS. Yeah.
Right. And when you turn it off, it's still keeping track of where you're at. You can contact the company from Garmin and find out where you've been for the last 6 months, and they'll tell you, because this machine continuously keeps track of where it's at. So it's possible, for instance, to calculate speed sometimes using that information. Modern cars have got GPS components in the air brakes, in the airbags, and in the anti-skid brakes of all things. So it's an issue may come up about how fast you're going, and the computer under the hood of your car may be destroyed, and you may discover that the airbag has your defense wrapped up in it. It's becoming a whole new world out there, and and the nice thing about DUI cases, from a defense attorney's standpoint, is that there's something you can do about it, as opposed to standing on the side of the street with a police officer saying, "I couldn't help noticing you have a marijuana cigarette sticking out of your shirt," in which case the defense on that's going to be a little trickier.